Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing okay. Today we are going to talk about the TP-Link Kasa Smart Light Strip KL430. And this is what it's going to look like when it comes in. We're going to talk about it. We're going to open it up and see what comes with it. We're going to hook it up and install it. Now, I want to tell you right out of the box, it says works with Lady A, Google Home, and Samsung Smart Things. Doesn't list a thing about HomeKit. Now, I'm a HomeKit user, and you can see behind me, those lights are going. Grogu says he likes them. Let me turn the light out. I want to thank Shane Watley for turning me on to the Neutron Pico remote hack to use this as a HomeKit button. So let's turn the lights out. We get a really good look of those LEDs going back there with the Aurora scene. Looks really good. So let's get into doing the review. Let's get at it. And here we have it, the TP-Link Kasa KL430 multicolor light strip. We see the voice platforms that it's compatible with. 1400 lumens, 16 million colors, custom color zones, easy installation, and no hub required. On the back of the box, we get some lighting facts, all the different types of things that we can expect from the light strip. And on the bottom of the box, we've got some specifics. So let's get this thing open and get it hooked up and see what we can do with it. All right, now we've got it unpackaged. We've got our power strip. It's 24 volt, 1 amp. And then we have our controller. It has a single multifunction button and a connector that it makes me think of a micro USB plug, oversized one, in our quick start guide. And then we have the light strip itself. It seems to be composed of 2 extensions put together. 3M sticky tape, standard fair stuff. It does do true white. 2 LEDs per segment. And there are cut lines if you need to shorten it for any reason, as you can see there. The number of LEDs between the cut lines make up the unit for the RGBIC. And there's the end of the light strip where you can connect another extension. And the quick start guide basically just tells you to download the Kasa app and to add it to it. Here's our controller. It has some 3M sticky tape on the back for excuse me, securing it to whatever you're going to mount it to. And I'm going to connect the power adapter to the controller and try to get this thing assembled with one hand. So I got that pretty easy. So now let's see if we can connect the light strip to the other end of the controller. Like I said, this thing kind of reminds me of a micro USB plug, just bigger. So it will only fit one way. So you don't have to worry about plugging it in upside down, right side up. It only fits one way. So let's see if I can get this connected up. I think I'm about to get it. And there I've got it. Excuse me. So next is get it hooked up and see how bright this thing is with those 1400 lumens. And man, it is bright. When you first plug it in, it's going to do that light sequence right there. It's going to flash between green and orange to tell you it's ready to pair into the app. So let's head over to the app and let's see if we can get it in there. Get the Kasa Open app opened up, hit the plus, and then add device, smart lights, and then the selection for the KL430 is going to be at the bottom. You want to make sure you choose that one. If you got the KL430, it's going to tell you how to assemble. Just next your way through that, and then you want to go into your Wi-Fi settings and connect to the TP-Link. It's going to broadcast the TP-Link SSID. You want to connect to that and come back to the app, and then it'll connect, and it's going to want you to choose your Wi-Fi. And once you do that, you'll have to put in your password and then hit join. And then it's going to set that up on your Wi-Fi. You'll see it change the color scheme from flashing between orange and green. It'll flash some colors, and then you'll know that it's actually connected. You'll see on my phone that my Amazon Echo picked the device up right away, and that's because I've had some TP-Link products before and I had the skill installed. So now you want to give it a name, choose an icon to represent it. And for some reason I was thinking it wasn't allowing me to choose an icon, but it was. So once you choose it, just hit next. And keep clicking next. It's going to give you some information on how to physically connect it up, and I've already done that. And if you need to customize it, shorten the length, where the cut lines are to cut on the cut lines. Hit next. And then it'll tell you about the peeling the paper off the back to expose the sticky tape so you can physically mount it. And then on this screen you'll hit finish up, and it'll go into updating the firmware if there is an update available. And if you just got yours, chances are pretty good that there will be. So it's telling you about the firmware update there. And you hit update firmware at the bottom. And it'll download the firmware and then send it on over to the light strip. And you'll see it, it'll do a real quick swirl of the LEDs down the line. And then you'll know it's received the update and installed it. And it don't take but just a minute to do this. And then you hit done at the bottom. And then it's going to give you some tips on using the app, how to change the color, the temperature, the effects, and various things of that nature, automations. And then how to use the multifunction button. A single press will turn it on or off. A double press will cycle through the effects. And if you press and hold the button for 5 seconds, it'll reset the Wi-Fi. And if you hold it for 10 seconds or longer, it'll do a factory reset. So now I'm going to play with the brightness and the colors and the temperatures and go through some of the effects on this. So I'll be quiet and let you watch. Now, most every LED light strip I've ever had, except for this one, has had some form of or another of a problem with the color purple whenever I use voice assistant to choose purple. It's either some magenta or some shade of pink or something of that nature. But this one does pretty good with purple. And there is the energy screen. It tells you how much power the light strip is using. And there's some of the effects. That's the Aurora effect, and I happen to like that one the best. It kind of reminds me of the Aurora Borealis. And once you get yours mounted to the whatever you're going to mount it on, if it's reflecting off of a wall, like I put this one on the back side of the headboard on my bed, and when it reflects off the wall, it looks really good. It does have some really good effects, and like I say, it does do true white because of the separate LEDs for the color and the and white. There's the Valentine's effect. So that does pretty good. So now we're going to get into our final thoughts. All right. So what is my opinion of the Kasa KL430 by TP-Link? I like it pretty good. Like I said, I am a HomeKit user. So the trick to that is something called HomeBridge or Hoops. I use Hoops, which is basically HomeBridge, but it's some software that runs on a server. You can use anything that can run Node. You can use a MacBook. You can use an old iPad. You can use a Raspberry Pi, which is what I do. I'm running it on a Raspberry Pi 4. And there's a plug-in for TP-Link to expose those devices to HomeKit, and it works really well. I'm not going to go into details on how to make it work. It's, for me, it was really easy to do and easy to get set up. I've got, I don't know, 4 or 5 different bridges set up in Hoops that exposes those particular devices to HomeKit. My Ring alarm system. What else have I got? Now I can't remember. That's funny. So let's see. Let's take a look. And let me get logged in. And I'll turn this around and I'll show you what bridges I have. No, I've got 3. I've got the Lutron Cassette Leap. That does the Pico remote to use that as a HomeKit button. I've got the Ring Bridge, which exposes my Ring alarm devices to HomeKit, and then the TP-Link smart home plug-in that exposes the TP-Link devices to HomeKit as well. Now we'll open up my Home app on my MacBook here, and we'll make that bigger so we can see it. And there is the LED strip. And here is my alarm. I can turn that to home mode or away mode. And there's a lot of devices that's ringing there. There's my cameras, my scenes. Got automations to control various things, but you get the idea. Hoobs is a pretty good thing that I recommend doing if you're into it. It's not all that difficult to get set up and get going. I happen to think that if I can do it, anybody can. So, my final thoughts on the TP-Link Kasa KL430 light strip. I'm sorry. I think it works pretty good. I like it better than the standard fair light strips. It just does certain one color at a time. The RGB ones. This one is RGB IC, so it can do multiple colors per segment. Each individual LED isn't able to be controlled. It's a certain, I think there's 4 LEDs in a segment, and it controls independent color per segment. And you can extend these further if you need to. I think I read on their website that you can extend it up to include 10 total strips. So out of the box, there's 2 that's connected together, and you can cut them and customize the length if you need to shorten them, and you can extend them longer up to I think it's 30 feet. I'm not real certain on the length, but the box does not include a full user manual. If you want a user manual, you have to go to the website and download it. It's a PDF. It's quick and easy to do. What else do I want to say about this thing? It's not native HomeKit, but you can get it to work with HomeKit if you use Homebridge or Hoobs. So that's positive. About every light strip I've ever owned, even the EVE one that's native HomeKit support, does not do thread. They're Wi-Fi. So it is a Wi-Fi device that you'll have to add onto your network. Like I showed you when I went through this, adding it to Kasa. So that's everything that I've got to add for this particular device. If you happen to like content like this, be sure to give me a like. That'll tell YouTube that this video might be worth other people seeing. If you want to keep up with my videos and when I release new ones, subscribe. We're going to be glad to have you on board here. I appreciate everybody sticking with the video to the entirety. I hope you all have a good day.